Well, hey there, YouTube. It's Petey Two Finger. Now, I had just watched this movie, Crop Circle. Crop Circle movie called Crop Circle Realities, and it's a fairly high-rated documentary. Got like a 6 or a 7, and this film kind of sides on the side of that there's something going on. Hint, hint, UFOs. Now, when you look into this, you'll see Crop Circle's The Art of the Hoax, and this is the Smithsonian. Uh, the Smithsonian has developed a reputation among truthers as being the place that comes in. Let's say you're digging your garden and you find an arrowhead. Well, up's going to pop a guy from the Smithsonian. Oh, let me have that arrowhead for our museum, and then they go and destroy it. Or it doesn't go in their museum. Like they're there to rewrite history. Like a perfect example of this is the Beatles movie, Get Back. I think Peter Jackson is doing it, and they're going to make it so the Beatles are happy. This was when the Beatles hated each other. They couldn't look each other in the eye, and they were all suing each other. And I guess they're going to CGI smiles on all of them and rewrite history. But um, my point being that at 1991, um, these two guys, Doug and Dave, popped in, and they said, "Yeah, we're from the pub, and uh, we're responsible for all of this. It's all a hoax. None of it's real." And immediately, what I noticed was none of the work that they had done looked anything like the other crop circles I had seen. And that this guy, when he looked into the camera and said his piece, like this guy's obviously kind of, he's got a SWAT hat on, so he's in the SWAT team too, I guess. He looked right into the camera and did not blink, this stone face, and had recited his line about debunking these things. His buddy, the other guy, where is he? His buddy actually blinked and looked away. Which is like, if I see somebody talking and they get to the punchline and they blink and look away, I think that guy's lying. You know what I mean? I brought this up in the other video, but he always has this little thing coming down a little loop, and that's supposedly how he can do these incredibly straight lines, which was proven that it doesn't work. So it seems like they've nipped it in the bud. When you go and look into this, it's like, here's the Nike swoosh, here's the Nick and Dick from '96 True Country. We're out here at the field. We got our shots tent. We're doing shots, and we're gonna do the B96 True Country logo. We're going to have a crop circle. We got Bob and Doug coming out, and we're going to have the wet t-shirt contest, and then we're going to do the unveiling of our crop circle with our logo. Here's the NVIDIA logo, and you'll see like here, oh, ha, 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 fuck Trump. Like all of this stuff that's when you look into crop circles, it's like here, Firefox, ha, fuck Trump, Oreo, you know. So it seems to me that this has been neatly put to bed. Yeah, Dave and Doug did this one. They did it in a real fast, big hurry, 15 seconds, because that's how there's people that have seen these things appear, and they claim it's like 20 seconds. Now, this place here is called the Crappie. This is like a British website devoted to this stuff in this area where the most crop circle activity. And here's what you see, this cartoon of these people. I know your address, your car registration. My agents are watching. This is this is scary. One of the things that I saw in here was two guys had disagreed about the origin of these things, and one of them had went and found dirt on the other guy. He had found that this guy had been arrested for a drug bust many years ago. Well, he sent that information to this guy's employer, trying to get him fired, simply because they disagree about the origin of these crop circles. Now, that to me, when you're adding all of this stuff up, I'm trying to make the point that this topic of crop circles has kind of been weaponized. It's like you kind of can't talk about it, you know? Now, this one happened, what's today? Today's the 8th. This one happened on the 2nd. This one looks fake to me. This is not a straight line. Not a straight line. It's a little bit more impressive. Typically, the ones that seem real to me are the ones where there is a puzzle inside of it, where they figure out what it means. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that really blow my mind. But yeah, the crappie place is definitely worth your time if you want to learn a little bit more about this phenomenon. I wanted to read. This is the bulk of the video. Is going to be reading this article from Vale Daily. This is Beaver Creek in Eagle Valley, Colorado. This is like a little podunk, because you wouldn't expect to see this coming out of like the New York Times. But hey, you never know with how they've been doing this soft disclosure here lately. Bob Fisk is a believer. He thinks that the government and the national media may have hidden evidence of extraterrestrials visiting the Earth. So this article is called "The Truth About Crop Circles." It can be found at Vale Daily. It's from August 14th, 2002. And I have not went in and checked any of this out. And some of it I'm not quite sure on, so I will probably interrupt and discuss. Maybe I should try to read you straight through. Some of you may have heard about Doug and Dave. These are the old guys. But very few know about the amazing discoveries and scientific studies. So Nancy Talbot of the BLT team went through 350 crop formations, sampled and studied in the lab, and fewer than 10% appeared to be man-made. So that means 90% of them are not man-made. I read another article that said 20% of them were alien and 80% of them were man-made. And I'm just not buying it. When you know the amount of work that it would take to do one of these things. So noted U.S. biophysicist William Levengood is at the BLT research team, has been working on soil and plant samples taken from crop circles since 1989. Levengood's research has shown that whatever is doing these formations is affecting the fundamental biochemistry of the biophysics of the plants. One change noticed in crop circles samples was increased length in the nodes, which are joints in the stalk that hold water. In many of these samples, the nodes are exploded outward, indicating that the water in the node have been heated hot enough to blow out. Bugs have been found fused to the plants by this same high heat source. The seeds from the plants within the circle often appear stunted, but when planted with seeds from plants taken from a control group outside the circle, the stunted seeds grow faster. BLT's research believe these changes are caused by high levels of electromagnetic or microwave energy. That's weird. I would think if you microwave a seed, it's not going to grow. But what do I know? Also found embedded in the plants within the crop circles is space dust, small microscopic particles of matter believed to be meteoric in origin. Much of the space dust is iron. Plants have become magnetized by it. The other mystery is that these microscopic iron particles are sphere-shaped, indicating that the particles were melted in a weightless environment. Kind of a bit beyond Doug and Dave from the pub. Then there are the strange balls of light that have been seen and videoed around crop circles. These spheres appear to be about the size of a basketball or beach ball and have been seen in the day or night. Their plasma energy, are they under intelligent control? Perhaps, but even crop circle hoaxers have seen the lights and were chased out of a field one night by them. People taking photos around the formations often find bright bursts of light on the developed picture. Small orbs of light often show up on photos, including some shot at Stonehenge. Now, I'm going to have to remember to come back to this. Since the crop circle phenomenon was first reported in the United Kingdom in the early 1980s, formations have gone from simple circles to enormous geometrically complex creations that defy explanation. Crop circles have become a worldwide phenomenon, having appeared in the fields of the United States, Canada, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Switzerland, Israel, Australia, and New Zealand, and many more. But their home appears to be southern England, where the ancient Druid ruins of Avonbury, Salisbury Hill, and Stonehenge in the hills of Wiltshire, that many of the most intricate and complex designs were created. Already this year, 32 crop circles, this was 2002, have appeared, and some of them are extraordinary. Some crop formations have been recognized by Hopi Indian medicine men that said the earth was sending us a message that all is not well. The Ethikanakra, which is the symbol, was inverted. Other formations show knowledge of geometry, physics, astronomy, and ancient symbols. By the way the stalks are bent, the formations often have a three-dimensional look when viewed from the air. One researcher slept in a field one night, and between midnight and 5 a.m., two formations, one over 1,000 feet long and the other 500 feet long, appeared in the field. Over 70 people have reported seeing crop circles form. Most agree that the formation appear in 15 to 20 seconds. This is a little too fast for Doug and Dave. So who's making these mysterious crop circles? Some people in the field believe an extraterrestrial intelligence is involved because of the space dust found embedded in plants. Crop circle formations have been found at CE2 and UADs. CE2s are close encounters of the second kind, where a UFO sighting with physical evidence. UADs are unusual, natural, unexplained, or unsolved animal death, more commonly referred to as cattle mutilations. UFO sightings continue to be reported worldwide at a rate of about 100 a month, and these are just the reported sightings. Currently, there is a wave of UADs and UFO sightings in Argentina. Over 100 animals have been mysteriously killed, with these animals being body parts removed with surgical precision, cuts being cauterized so they don't bleed, no tracks, human or predator, strange lights in the sky. Through the summer and fall of 2001, 15 cattle mutilated in Montana. 37 head of cattle mysteriously disappeared in the community of Burns. The Great Falls area was the scene of an earlier wave of UADs and UFO sightings from 74 to 77. Animals found with body parts surgically removed, most often an ear, an eye, tongue, flesh around the jaw, udders, reproductive organs, and a rectum cored out. No tracks were found, and even coyotes and other scavengers avoided UADs. Many animals simply disappeared. During this time period, Cascade County Sheriff's Office recorded 67 UADs, 109 UFO reports, and 63 reports of mysterious helicopters being seen. Many of the reports come from police officers and military personnel nearby Maelstrom Air Force Base. This is my favorite story here. On the night of November 8th, 1975, there was an intrusion alarm at a Minuteman ICBM underground missile silo outside of Maelstrom Air Force Base. A two-man security team dispatched on the site and found a glowing UFO as big as a football field hovering silently over the silo. Ordered to move in closer, the team refused. As the UFO began to climb, it was picked up on radar, and jet fighters scrambled after it. As the jets approached the site, the security team saw the UFO blink out. After the jets left, the UFO blinked back on and continued to climb up out of the atmosphere. When the Minuteman missile was checked, it was found that its guidance memory had been erased. The incident is reported in Air Force documents released through the Freedom of Information Act and through witness statements. UFOs, UADs, like crop circles, are a reality. They exist, that they happen. That they can be all linked by microscopic space dust to what appears to be extraterrestrials is hard for anyone to accept unless you've educated yourself to the overwhelming evidence that UFOs are alien spacecraft visiting our planet and appear to be behind the crop circles, UADs, and of course alien abductions. Well, there you go. If by examining evidence you come to believe, as a lot of people have, that all of this is true, you might also come to believe there's a government conspiracy to hide all this from the American people and the world. You might find yourself believing in stories about Roswell and Area 51 are true, also that there's a secret government that spends billions of our tax dollars on research and development projects so secretly that officially they don't exist. But this is a whole different story. The truth is out there for anyone who cares enough to look, but it can really boggle your mind. Are extraterrestrials really behind all these strange events? And are crop circles just one sign of alien contact? It's much simpler to believe that Roswell was a weather balloon and UFOs don't exist. And people who claim alien abductions are crazy, that UADs are the work of coyotes and natural predators, and that the intelligent forces behind crop circles are really Doug and Dave. What do you